Hi there. My name is James Heidema. I'm a strategic coach and an international trainer. As well, I'm Chief Operating Officer for a regional airline in Northern Canada. This is one of our aircraft. This is a Seneca twin-engine, 7-passenger aircraft. And it's under its normal maintenance routine at the moment. And as you can see, it's torn apart. Well, we're going to put it back together and it's going to work, just as I'm going to help you put together your business as a financial manager so that it works. Stay tuned. As promised, I'm going to show you a tool that's going to make you more effective. This tool will appear to be relatively simple, but if you can be disciplined to use this tool, it will really improve your results. And you know, often as managers, we feel like we're jugglers and we're juggling. We got to find candidates. We got to take them through an onboarding process. We've got to get them going and be effective so they meet their goals, and we, of course, benefit from them meeting their goals. We've got to train them. We've got to coach them. We've got to role play them. There's a whole bunch of things we need to do around our team members. And then on top of that, we got our own personal sales. So we've got to manage our client base and always be looking for new clients and dealing with our existing clients and getting referrals from those clients to new clients. So there's all of that. Then there's our personal lives. You know, all the things that, you know, we want to do for our families, all the things we want to do for ourselves. And so it's hard to sort of juggle all those things. And often managers get frustrated because they don't juggle them effectively. And what happens is we tend to drop some of those balls. Maybe we're not as home as often as we should be. Maybe we don't recruit on a regular basis. Maybe we're not selling enough, et cetera, except maybe our income is like a roller coaster. And so how do we do that? Well, what often managers get, the trap they get caught in is they multitask. And what they do is they do a bit of this and a bit of that and a bit of something else, but they never really get really good at any one of those things. So I think multitasking's a crock. I think it's something we shouldn't do. So what I'm going to suggest to you is that you build a model week. And in the model week, you're going to break down in that week the various things you want to do. One of the things you want to do is you want to make sure there's time for you in that. And that's an appointment with yourself that you don't break. So maybe there's certain periods with your week. I used to play squash when I was younger. And so I'd play squash a couple times a week. That was an appointment with myself. I wouldn't allow a client to say they want to meet with me then. I wouldn't allow one of my team members to meet with me then. I wouldn't take phone calls. I wouldn't message switch. I wouldn't do any of the business stuff when I'm doing squash. And I enjoyed squash quite a lot. And so that was an appointment with myself. There's also, you know, what you should do is you should train your team that there are certain times you will be available to work with them and other times you will not be available to work with them. So if you're running your own sales business and you're out there looking for clients and you're making phone calls, then set aside some time just to make phone calls, not to do anything else. So maybe I found if I did 10 or 20 phone calls in a row, I got better phone call to phone call and I became more effective on the phone. And so do your phone calls, don't do paperwork, don't spend time with your team members, whatever, when you're supposed to be doing phone calls. Maybe you divide the week up in some portion that there's a certain amount of time for you to do your sales business and a certain amount of time for you to do your team business. And within that team business, maybe there's a couple of days a week that you're going to go out there and look for potential candidates and approach them. And then there's other times of the week that you're going to do training or you're going to do coaching or you're going to do role playing, whatever you're going to do. So if you can build yourself a model calendar that's very consistent with how you live your life and the things you need to do, you'll become more effective in each of those areas. The other thing you've got to be aware of is your circadian rhythm. You know, I'm a morning person. I can get up at 6:30 and be ready to go, but by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, I am done. So I'm very much a morning person. If I'm a morning person, I want to be as productive as possible in the mornings. So I sort of go through a cycle. The mornings are really good for me. Afternoons, I'm not as effective. And then early evening, I'm effective again. So I want to make sure that maybe in the afternoons when I'm less effective, that's when I do paperwork or I send emails or I text or whatever sort of thing. When I'm most effective, I'm going to either meet with potential candidates or I'm going to meet with potential customers. And so those are things that I do from my own rhythm. I was chatting with one of your colleagues recently. I coach a number of people, as you know. I was chatting with one of your colleagues recently, and they are not good until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I said, well, then fine, don't do anything that's really critical to your business in the mornings. Do it in the afternoon into the evening. Work your schedule around your circadian rhythm. And so that's really important. So if you can pay attention to your rhythm, if you can do a model week and break down the different things you want to do, and teach your team members and your customers that when you have an appointment with yourself or you're doing something that does not involve sales or does not involve the team, you're unavailable. And you know, if a client calls you and want to meet with you in one of those times, you have to say, no, I have an appointment. I can see you in these other times. And that way you take control of your business. I hope you find value in this. It's a very simple idea. But just like the aircraft behind me and all the things we have to do to get this aircraft functioning again, it's all in a schedule. There's a schedule of things we do, and we do them in a very systematic order. And there's a calendar, and we get certain things done on certain days until we get to the point that it's a fully operational aircraft. Well, treat your business the same way. I hope you find value in this, and I encourage you to like this, to share this, subscribe, and we'll see you again. Thank you very much.